Top 10 as it stands. Gianmarco Ercoli is our race leader. Alan Day in second place. Then it's Alexander Graf, Tobias Downhauer, Roman Iannetta and Patrick Lemarie are top 6. Sebastian Bleekemolen, Nicolo Rocca, yesterday's winner in 8th place. Mark Goossens up to 9th, and Martin Dubeck, the first of the Challenge Trophy winners, Challenge Trophy runners, I should say, in 10th place. Our Euro NASCAR 2 champion from last year into the top 10 here at the moment. You see the cars are once again forming up in 2x2 formation. They're about to cross the line to complete the 4th lap, so we will resume the race at the beginning of lap number 5. 13 laps of running left to go. Sometimes they say that cautions breed cautions. Let's see if that's the case here today. 2x2 formation once again as we get ready to go racing. It'll be Ercoli once again on the inside. Alan Day this time drag racing with him, and some eager beavers further back in the pack, but everybody underway now. We are racing, and it is Ercoli who looks like he will lead into the turn 1. Look for Alexander Graf on the inside of Alan Day. He's not quite close enough for a move. Downhauer there in 4th place, holding on to that position. It is Ercoli that leads the way then from Alan Day, and Downhauer all the way around the outside. He's got himself up to 3rd position. Some nudging and moving and shaking further back in the pack, but hopefully everyone's clean through turn 2 this time. Side by side there for 5th place. That's between Roman Iannetta. I think that's Nicolo Rocca. So Rocca's made up some places there in the early corners of the lap. Lots of 2 and 3 wide all the way through the order. Gianmarco Ercoli it is that leads them, though. Alan Day will be looking to try and challenge Tobias Downhauer up into 3rd place. Good driving from Downhauer. But look at Alexander Graf. He dives back up the inside at turn 11. What a move from Alexander Graf. He's back through into 3rd place then as they run towards turn 12. But Downhauer immediately looks to the inside. Isn't going to be able to do that, unfortunately. He may have slightly compromised his run through turns 12 and 13 as well, having that little look to the inside. And here they go through turn 14. Some fun stats coming through for me from Gianluca Giulia of Euro NASCAR, saying that Ercoli has never won here in Euro NASCAR Pro. Our race leader has never taken the victory here, but Alan Day, with 5 wins to his name at this facility, has 5 wins, second all time, only behind Villarino. So Alan Day certainly knows how to win a race here in Euro NASCAR at Valencia. Can Ercoli hold him off? Alan Day has been here in Euro NASCAR competition for many a season. He's honed his craft. He's become one of the all-stars of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. But every year, more people knock on the door. More people come in looking to be the quickest. Side by side at the back of shot there, Giorgio Maggi trying to make up some places. Tobias Downhauer demoted to 4th place then by Alexander Graf once again. Graf briefly lost 3rd, but he very quickly stamped his authority on the number 50, and up the inside goes Iannetta. Oh, it's so much fun watching Roman Iannetta. He really does like a dive, doesn't he? And up the inside he has gone. Nicolo Rocca in 6th position there. So he has indeed moved himself into the top half dozen, and you get the feeling he's going to make a move for 5th place soon. Tobias Downhauer looking to be under threat once again. The car that he shares with young Liam Hazemans, who's in his first weekend of racing, had a brilliant run in Euro NASCAR 2. Alan Day was incredibly close to Gianmarco Ercoli coming down the straight there. He has a look to the inside. He's not close enough, but you get the feeling that Alan Day is maybe just moments away from a dive here. He's not going to be close enough into turn 2. He's certainly showing that he's a threat. I'm sure Alan will be aware of the permutations of a win here today. If he can tie himself on the all-time list of Valencia winners in Euro NASCAR, tie himself at the top, that would be quite the delight for him. Alan Day pressing on in second place then. And let's see if Gianmarco Curley can withstand the pressure. It's a good run out of turn 6 through the kink at turn 7. Is Day going to have a look to the inside this time? Wait and see whether or not he made the move. You see Nicola Rocca harassing Tobias Downhauer back in 5th place. I don't think Day managed to get through on that occasion. No, he did not. So Gianmarco Ercoli has run it a bit deep there at turn 11, but Alan Day also fighting the steering wheel for everything he's worth. Through 12 and 13 they go for what is the 7th time in this race already. Race feels a lot shorter with this safety car period that started on the very first lap. Alan Day looks like he's going to get another strong run out of the last corner here. Ercoli goes wide. This could be the opportunity for Alan Day. He senses it. He's in the slipstream of the pink car. It's the 54 versus the 24. And is Day going to take a look to the inside? He's put the nose there, but he's not quite close enough. Once again, he's going to try and hold the momentum through turn 1. Not going to be close enough at 2 either, I don't think. Although he is later on the brakes. You saw there the car length suddenly shrink between the two of them. Oh, goodness me, these two cars looking very nice as well. Neither one looking too squirrely yet. Although, of course, as these Heusier tyres continue to build mileage, you may see them start to fight the car ever more. These tyres have already been through the ringer in qualifying and yesterday's race, the exact same rubber, so... Oh, and there you see Ercoli with an example of what I was saying there. Just starting to see the limits of adhesion, particularly on the rear axle. And so, as these two continue to fight, I'm getting a few bulletins through. Time penalties for leaving the line early at the start applied to 4 drivers. One of them, unfortunately, is Lucas Lur, who has put in a fabulous performance to this point. He's up to 7th place. I think he probably got duped by other drivers starting early ahead of him. We saw a lot of cars kind of jump the gun a bit. Lucas Lur is one of them. Another one is the car just behind him, Patrick Lemery. We also have the number 4 being penalised for that. That's Yannick Panagiotis at the back of the order in the 48 car. Another one that I think is a bit further back, it's Yevgen Sokolovsky in 18th place. But unfortunately, 2 drivers in the top 10, 7th and 8th place drivers, Lucas Lur and Patrick Lemery, have both been penalised for that. It'll be a time penalty, I'm guessing 5 seconds. Oh, the number 55 car off. That's Fabrizio Armetta. I think that was at turn 13 on the slip road after turn 12, unfortunately, for Armetta. So another car in strife. I feel so bad for Lucas Lur. He's shown some great pace here this weekend. We know what Lucas is capable of. A serial title winner. And here is a replay of what happened to Armetta. He was getting really, really into it with Claudio Capelli. And okay. The car kind of disagreed with the physicality of the racing there. Unfortunately for Capelli, he will be going no further today. The gap's out a little further between Ercoli and Alan Day on this lap. Day looking a bit less threatening on Ercoli than he has done in recent laps. Of course, those drivers that have served a time penalty, they'll be ruining the safety car. Of course, safety car, I think, is where the time penalties came from anyway, after the safety car period ended. But that also means they've got less laps to try and build a gap to cover off the time penalty that they've received. Alan Day. What's the gap between the two of them now? It's out to 1.2 seconds, so it's gone up by 0.8 on that lap alone. Got a car rejoining just ahead of the leaders. That's the number 8 of Dario Casso. I'm sure Dario will be conscious of what's going on around him, but always a bit nervy for the driver when you see someone rejoin ahead of you like that. Down in 8th place is the number 5 car. In fact, where's Lucas Lur gone? I think he's come into the pits potentially. Where's Lucas on my timing screen? I'm not seeing him. He's 19th place, so yes, I think he did pop into the pit lane there. In fact, no, it was the middle sector where he lost his time. So I think off camera, Lucas Lur has had a bit of a moment because he's set a 49-second middle sector on that last lap. Everyone else is in the mid-30s. So I think Lucas has had a spin or a trial of some sort somewhere out there. That means that this battle now for 6th and 7th place between Douwenhauer and Lemarie. Lucas Lur was in 7th place, so Lemarie has bumped up a position. Douwenhauer is once again the leader in the junior class as well, the junior trophy. 8th place there for Sebastian Bleekemolen. He's being followed by Martin Dubeck and Mark Goossens at the moment. Goossens and Bleekemolen have definitely had a few battles over the years in various types of car. And Martin Dubeck is piggy in the middle at the moment. Euro NASCAR 2 champion from last year. Right in the thick of it with the pro drivers as well. He pulls double duty in both classes in the 2022 season. And there you see Douwenhauer trying to get past the wounded car of Dario Casso. Dubeck with an optimistic look up the inside there on Bleekemolen. That might leave him susceptible to an attack from Mark Goossens. Goossens up the inside, but not able to make a move. He's also got to be conscious of Frederic Gabillon behind him in the number 3. Gabillon in 11th place right now, would be very happy to break into the top 10. I'm sure he'll do everything in his power to do so. They're now all coming up on this wounded car of Dario Casso, who, to his credit, manages to stay well out of the way there as he goes a lap down. That car has definitely seen better days. Looks more like old Whelen Modified Series car over in North America rather than a Whelen Euro Series NASCAR. That number 8 at the moment, at least at the front end. Dubeck then continuing to hound the back of Seb Bleekemolen. Meanwhile, the 54 car with a black and white flag. The 54, of course, is our race leader, so Gianmarco Ercoli. Getting a black and white warning flag, I'd suggest that's probably track limits related. Tends to be the case. So he's been told to watch himself a little bit, and Alan Day will be rubbing his hands. Potentially, if Ercoli has to drive a little more conservatively and carefully, that could spell danger for him. Alan Day will certainly smell blood in the water as he continues to chase. We're on to lap 12 of 18, so we're at 2/3 distance, about 50 kilometres of this circuit completed. The warning was indeed for track limits. For the number 54, so there you go, track limits are being observed here, and if you do keep pushing your luck, you will end up with a time penalty. And the dam has broken. Sebastian Bleekemolen has been overtaken by Martin Dubeck, so our challenge class leader has just managed to break himself through into, 8th place. Dubeck really showing his stuff here. He's got past Sebastian Bleekemolen, no easy feat at all. Mark Goossens is next in the queue then. He wants to try and get around the 69 car also. Sebastian Bleekemolen is going to be working overtime at the wheel of his Mustang. Not only is Mark Goossens on his tail, but he's also got Frederic Gabillon there, Giorgio Maggi waiting in the wings too. I've alluded to it a few times this weekend. The sheer competitiveness of this grid in 2022 makes a very interesting viewing. We had a car off in the gravel there at turn 8 we just saw in the foreground of shot. It may have been there a while. I might be only spotting it retroactively, but certainly we've got at least one car off down there in the gravel. And there we see the third place man, Alexander Graf. He's having a fairly controlled and easy race at the moment, isn't he? No such luck for Sebastian Bleekemolen. He's under pressure from Goossens. Goossens with a look to the inside. Oh, I thought that was going to be a lot more fraught than it ended up being for a moment there, but Goossens is on the attack. He again shows a nose, but isn't able to find a way through just yet, but Bleekemolen runs it wide. He tries to get the car around the corner. He has to muscle it every inch of the way, and I think with the inside into turn 4, he will just about hold on to 9th place at least for another few corners. Goossens is pushing him every inch of the way. Gabillon is right there behind them too. Great fighting for 9th place at the moment. Every point counts at the end of the year. Every position matters in Euro NASCAR competition. And Goossens wants to get himself up into the order. Of course, every point counts for Goossens in particular because his engine, or his car at least, came to a grinding halt in yesterday's race, and there's the opportunity he needs. Bleekemolen leaves the door open. They're side by side through 9 and 10. Who's going to have the nose clean? Surely it's going to be Bleekemolen with the inside line into turn 11. They're still side by side. And Goossens is still around the outside. The absolute temerity of Mark Goossens has allowed him to stay around the outside. And he's got the position. Amazing driving. 9th place then for Goossens. And that's allowed the number 3 car through as well. Good job from Gabillon to capitalise. And I think Maggi's going to follow for good measure. And look at Gabillon, he's all over the back of Mark Goossens. Absolutely fabulous racing from everyone involved here in this battle for 9th place, and it looks to me as though Gabillon didn't quite get the run he needed. No, he falls back behind. But goodness me, Mark Goossens up into 9th place, Gabillon in 10th, Maggi in 11th, and Seb Bleekemolen down to 12th place in one fell swoop there. A great illustration. Sometimes trying to save one position will cost you 3, and that's exactly what's happened to Sebastian Bleekemolen on that lap. Right then, so the next task for Mark Goossens is not only defending from Frederic Gabillon, it's also... 2 cars off. Okay, so that's the number 4 car. I think that was the one I saw in the gravel before. Safety car has been deployed. Yannick Panagiotis is in the gravel. We saw the 16 car in too. That's Claudio Capelli. Now, those were separate incidents, I think. Panagiotis has been in there for a while, but unfortunately, Capelli has joined him, and with 2 cars in the gravel there at turn 8, it's just not really possible. And we're just getting word as well. I think Gianmarco Ercoli has received a penalty. Yes, okay, so I missed that on the timing screen and amongst all of that fighting for 9th place. But Gianmarco Ercoli has received a 5-second penalty now for track limits. So he saw the black and white flag displayed to him. Unfortunately, he did not abide, and now he's got a penalty proper. A 5-second penalty as we go under safety car. This is a huge marker for Alan Day. We're going on to lap 14 of the race now, or make that lap 15 of the race. My apologies, we're on to lap 15 of the race. We could well be under safety car until the very last lap here. We're getting a replay here of Ercoli once again abusing the track limits as he was coming under pressure from Alan Day, and it's that kind of driving, unfortunately, that has netted him a 5-second penalty and will, more than likely, hand the victory over to Alan Day. It may also, with this safety car period coming in, it's going to benefit the likes of Alexander Graf, potentially Nicolo Rocca, Roman Iannetta. We could well see Ercoli fall out of the top 5 here, you know. A really unlucky safety car for Ercoli. He may have been able to finish 2nd place with the track limits penalty, but well. With this safety car in, that has dramatically altered the race for Gianmarco Ercoli. unfortunately, with that moment for Claudio Remigio Capelli. The safety car had to be deployed. They are retrieving the car already. I think we might get a couple of laps under green flag running, all told. You've also seen warnings given to the 47 and the 90. So the 90 is well down the order. Nicolo Gabossi, and the 47 down in 17th is Leonardo Colavita. The young 16-year-old testing his luck with the track limits. As you can see there, the marshals have the board out. But then let's recap through the top dozen or so cars. Gianmarco Ercoli is our leader, albeit with a massive asterisk against his name, because he has a 5-second penalty to be applied. Alan Day in the second position. He will more than likely inherit a win here unless Alexander Graf can challenge him. We get another look at some of the questionable track limits from Ercoli. He had his wheels, I think, all the way off the curb even there. You see a car getting unlapped as well. I think that might be the number 8. Yes, the slightly modified front end of Dario Casso. He will unlap himself and get to the back of the queue, which will probably be a relief for him. He won't have to do quite so much looking over the shoulder. But to run you through the rest of the top 10, behind Ercoli and Day, it is Alexander Graf. Nicolo Rocca there in 4th place. He could end up inheriting a podium here. Our race winner from yesterday, who started 8th place today. Roman Iannetta in 5th place. 6th place is Patrick Lemarie. Tobias Downhauer in 7th. Martin Dubeck behind him. Downhauer is the leader in the Junior Trophy. Martin Dubeck is the leader in the Challenge Trophy. Both of them are the only representatives of those two trophies within the top 10 as well. Mark Goossens is in 9th place. Frederic Gabillon is in 10th. Of course, Lemarie, I believe, has copped himself a penalty as well, if memory serves correctly. There's quite a few penalties at play here in this race. Mark Goossens down in 9th, Gabillon in 10th, as we said, Giorgio Maggi in 11th. And of course, with that sequence of racing action that we saw just before the safety car was deployed, unfortunately, Sebastian Bleekemolen is all the way down to 12th place. Indeed, one of the top cars that received a penalty because of leaving the line early at the start is Patrick Lemarie, so he will likely fall out of the top 10 with this safety car as well. It's not a good time to have a safety car, is it? We're on lap 16 of the race now, so if we do get the safety car in this time, and we just confirmed as I say that the safety car is in this lap, that means we're going to have a 2-lap dash to the finish here. Kind of like the green-white checker at the Daytona 500. We've got 2 laps to resolve everything here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. About 5 miles, 8 kilometers of racing. And Gianmarco Ercoli is going to hope that he can run unchallenged into turn 1 and start building an advantage. I frankly refuse to believe he can make 5 seconds on Alan Day in 2 laps. I think he's more than likely going to fall off the podium entirely, but he's going to try as hard as he can to not get caught up in battles here. We're lining up 2 by 2 once again as we get ready for the rolling start. Take 3 when it comes to rolling starts here today. And it's going to be just the 2 laps. You hear about cautions breeding cautions, and well, I don't know if we're going to get another caution, but we're certainly going to get some big racing, and caution will be thrown to the wind with 2 laps of racing left to go. 2 by 2 formation, traditional NASCAR style restart incoming. Gianmarco Ercoli, our race leader, has a 5-second penalty to his name for track limits, and that's going to surely prove costly for him. Safety car in. We will see the green lights on the gantry in just a few moments, and we'll be back to racing conditions. 2 more laps at Valencia. And we're underway, and it's a good start from Alan Day, you know. Day absolutely launched the car, and Coley could end up down to third place on the road. No, just second. But even on the road now, he's lost the lead. With the 5-second penalty, he was always destined to lose it anyway. He's going to hope that he and Alan Day can just drive off here as everyone else battles. It's Nicolo Rocca up to third place as well. Up into the top 5 has gone Martin Dubek as well. Alexander Graf has been swallowed whole. I think Graf is down outside of the top 5 now. Certainly Rocca is in third place. Iannetta 4th. Dubek in 5th. In 6th place is the 64 of Alexander Graf by the looks of it. Then it's Le Marie, I think, in 7th. Mark Goossens fighting for 8th with Frederic Gabillon. Gabillon under pressure from Downhauer, who's also lost positions. Downhauer now on the verge of being out of the top 10. He's got to keep an eye on Giorgio Maggi because that's the junior class win as well. In fact, I think Maggi is right behind the number 50 on track. Yes, you can see it there in the back of shot. So the junior trophy could be up for grabs here for Giorgio Maggi. He'd like to try and best Tobias Downhauer here. Everyone sides their way through turn 11 and 12. We're going to be starting the final lap this time. And it is Alan Day, where he is so familiar with being in the lead at Valencia. 5 previous wins for Alan Day here. And he could be making it 6 to equal the record in just a lap's time. Gianmarco Ercoli in 2nd place, and look, he is building a gap over 3rd, but still, he has to be 5 seconds clear of Rocca to retain 2nd place, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think, frankly, he's probably going to be outside of the top 5 once the timing screen corrects itself. So then the order with Graf back into 5th place. He got back around Martin Dubek. So the order is Alan Day in the lead, Ercoli in 2nd with the 5-second penalty to be applied. Then it's Rocca, then it's Iannetta. Graf and Dubek follow in 5th and 6th. Le Marie also with a penalty to be applied in 7th. Mark Goossens 8th. Frederic Gabillon in 9th. And Lucas Lurt has rounded out the top 10 for now. Although he too has a penalty, so he will drop down the order. Lots of drivers here with unfortunate 5-second penalties that are only going to be hampered by the fact that we've just gone back to green flag running. The caution came at the worst possible time. The final lap of the race then, and Alan Day will be confident here. There would be no merit at all to Gianmarco Ercoli making a move because he's got the 5-second penalty anyway. I'm sure Alan Day will be keeping an eye anyway. He doesn't want to take any undue risk. He doesn't want to take his eye off the ball, but he's just 2 corners away. He rounds the long turn 13 here. The 24 car on either side of the Atlantic is a force to be reckoned with. Around the final corner goes Alan Day. And he will take his first win of the 2022 Euro NASCAR Championship in the Pro class. The 3-time champ puts his name on the victory list for 2022, and he ties the record for the most wins here at Valencia in Euro NASCAR competition. Alan Day with a brilliant win. Ercoli still listed 2nd on the timing screen, but he's going to drop further than that. He'll be lucky to stay in the top 10, actually, once the penalty is applied. So it will be Alan Day who claims the win. Nicolo Rocca will be 2nd. Roman Iannetta will be 3rd. Alexander Graf will be 4th. Iannetta getting a podium there. He will be delighted with that, I reckon. Roman Iannetta, who is always fun to watch in these Euro NASCARs, has been a part of Euro NASCAR almost from the beginning. He'll be delighted with that, but no one's going to have a bigger smile in the paddock than Alan Day. He started 16th for race 1 yesterday. Brilliantly fought his way back through the order. And he will feel that this is the perfect cap-off to a mixed weekend. It will put him right back in title contention as well. It will make sure that he is at the sharp end of the point scoring. And of course, Ercoli's issues will further hamper his championship prospects. He had a gearbox issue yesterday and ended up many, many laps down. Alan Day, with 2 strong finishes, will be right up there in the points table once all that maths has been completed. Here we see what was arguably the most important moment in the race. Coley once again trying far too hard, asking too much of the car, going wide, abusing the track limits and costing himself a victory potentially. Although of course he was demoted to 2nd place on that restart organically. It looks like with the penalty applied, Coley has been demoted to 6th place then. Timing screen in a state of flux at the moment as the maths is done down in the race control. But the order in the top 10 by the looks of it definitively is going to be Alan Day in the 24 claiming the win. We knew that bit. Nicolo Rocca in 2nd, Roman Iannetta in 3rd, Alexander Graf 4th, Mark Goossens 5th. Gianmarco Ercole slots in 6th place. Frederick Gabion in 7th. Tobias Downhauer in 8th, who did hold on to the junior trophy win. Sebastian Blakemolen in 9th. And Massimilio Lanza in 10th place. He will take the challenge trophy. It looks like Martin Dubeck has been knocked way down the order there as well. He's 15th now. I didn't see a penalty applied to him, so maybe he had a moment further back. The restart is under investigation as a whole, so I suggest there will be a few changes and cuts and adjustments to the order. That restart is under investigation. And here we see the restart. You'll see a few drivers kind of launch the cars early here. In fact, this, I believe, is the initial start to the race, isn't it? So this was how we got underway here at Valencia, with Ercole going highly defensive. Graf losing pace to, or losing places to a few drivers in the early going, principal among them Alan Day. Some cars driving around very, very wounded indeed, especially Dario Casso's car that ended up losing its nose altogether before the end of the race. Unfortunately, turn 2, lap 1. A collision between the 33 and the 36. Vittorio Gorelli once again not getting any points on the board. A huge disappointment for him. We had another go at a restart, and a few drivers were penalised as a result of that restart. However, no such penalties, no such dramas for Alan Day, the 24 car, in victory lane, arguably, one would say, where it belongs. The 3-time champ back at the top. Career win number 28 for Alan Day. Celebrations inbound. Obviously, you can't see his smile yet, but the body language in the helmet certainly looks like that of a happy man. He's been greeted by Andre Viegold, a man who will have spoken to Alan Day a number of times over the years, I'm sure, courtesy of his successes at the wheel of Euro NASCARs. And he will be out of the car momentarily to celebrate and then have the interview with Andre. That is a stunning looking car as well, the Monster Energy number 24 car. Part of the PK Car Sport stable. A team with so much success. The big rigs are heading out onto the circuit now, as you can see. The festivities, the Americana continuing here. And out of the car, by the looks of it, then, is Alan Day. And the celebrations are about to begin in earnest for Alan. Looks like he's pretty tired as well. After 18 laps, he's very eager to get the race suit off, and you can see there he's been sweating. These are physical cars. And he's trying to rehydrate himself as best he can. I'm sure it's less than ideal in temperatures over 25 degrees to be wrestling around a car like this, but I'm sure he's had fun on the way, and once he is rehydrated and recuperates a bit, he will see the true extent of this positive result for his championship campaign. Out of the car he gets. Again, straight to the water bottle. I don't think we're going to see him up on the roof, you know. I think fluid intake is the only thing he can think about right now. He's having a debrief with the team. I think Nicola Roca will be delighted with that result as well. I believe that should make him our championship leader. A win yesterday, a second place today. Another look then at the replay of the first start to the race. Of course, once again, we had 2 safety car periods and thus 2 restarts today. Some good battling further back between Graf and Downhauer in the early laps, but Downhauer had many positions lost in this race, actually. He was fighting hard, but it seemed that quite a few drivers had the edge on Tobias. Tobias, though, still claiming the junior trophy honours, and that will be important to him, as will having 2 top 10s in his first Euro NASCAR Pro weekend. I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. The double runner-up of Euro NASCAR 2 has moved leaps and bounds over the winter. You can see his improvement for yourself. And I'm sure he will come into Brands Hatch with lots of positive momentum. Got some great battling between Sebastian Bleekemolen and Mark Goossens earlier on, as you can see on this replay. And once the door was opened by Goossens, Frédéric Gabillon said, sure, I'll join you, and moved up through into what was at the time, I believe, 9th place. He ended up finishing 7th. Mark Goossens with the top 5. He'll be delighted with how that went for him. The final restart after the second safety car, though, was not a good one for Ercole. He ended up falling behind Alan Day. We also saw the fender falling off the number 1 car. Thomas Chrysonis with a bit of weight shedding towards the end. The cheerleaders back in force then, as we celebrate ahead of the podium. Good job from them, as always, to keep the party going. And I think we are now going to hear from some of the drivers in a few moments with our good friend Andre down in the pits.
Hello guys, we had a little bit of confusion here because there was a late penalty. We have the provisional results, and the provisional results say that Nicola Roca is the winner of the second race of Euro NASCAR Pro. 2 races, 2 race wins.
Yeah, man, amazing. I wasn't expecting this from starting from P7. I finished the race 3rd, and then it came out that 2 guys in front got a penalty, so, you know, like, I gotta take it. It's amazing. I could have not dreamed of anything better. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, grazie mille. Yeah, this is Racing 2. Back to Mark. Adam, of course.
Sorry, no worries. Alan Day then has been demoted to 4th place with a penalty. Okay, well, this is very interesting. I think he's got himself a 5-second penalty too. Yes, he has, and it's because of a false start at the final restart. So Alan Day was judged to make a false start, and that has put him out of the podium contention. It's also put this man, Roman Iannetta, up to 2nd place. I'm sure he knows it by now, but he's only just found out.
Yes, he found out right now. Roma Iannetta, you are 2nd place because of a late penalty against Alan Day. It looked pretty decent out there, right?
Yeah, it's crazy race. I'm very happy for Marco Steve Motorsport. First podium in pro driver for them. I'm so happy. The race was crazy. Some penalty. We finished 2nd. It's great. Thank you, the team. Thank you all the guys.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
That was a nice dismount off the car from Nicola Roca. He's found out he's the winner, and he now celebrates with the Cal Racing team once again. Oh, no doubt over who's going to be our championship leader then. Double victory for Nicola Roca this weekend in interesting circumstances. They're probably reluctant to hand out the trophies in case there are any further changes to the result, but we believe that this top 10 that we see on our screens is now official. That means Nicola Roca, Roman Iannetta and Alexander Graf are top 3, Alan Day 4th, Mark Goossens 5th, Gianmarco Ercole in 6th place, Frédéric Gabillon in 7th, Downhauer 8th, Sebastian Bleekemolen in 9th, Massimiliano Lanza in 10th. So it's been a fluctuating top 10. The penalties have come in thick and fast. I'm sure there's going to be inquiries long into the night here. But I don't think Nicolo Rocca will be a part of any of them. It looks like he is ready to party. I was just taking in the lovely music of one of the big trucks there. That was very nice indeed. I'm sure we will soon hear from Alexander Graf too, but there you see Alan Day. We thought he was going to be the race winner. We were wondering why we hadn't heard from him yet. And well, it turns out he's only finished 4th once everything has been dissected and reviewed. And well, still a positive result for Alan, but nonetheless, let's go down to Tobias Dauenhauer, who won the junior trophy.
Adam, you said it well. We have a parade of trucks here. I hope you can understand me, Tobias. Junior trophy win. It went pretty well. Your NASCAR Pro debut, you must be happy, right?
Yeah, overall it was a very good weekend for us in my debut in Pro Cars. Now I could win the junior trophy again, very happy with that. After the second safety car, I was a bit unlucky. I was 2 times on the wrong race in the wrong time, so yeah. A bit frustrating, but still happy to win the junior trophy, and overall it was a good weekend.
Super, vielen Dank. Adam, I think you heard more than me.
Probably did, yes, he sounds happy anyway. Yes, well, if it isn't club music playing at full volume, it's the trucks saying hello. So I feel sorry for Andre, who is fighting against the elements down there in the paddock. And there you see Alan Day's car once again. The order is still under investigation. I'm not sure whether or not the trophies are going to be handed out before the investigations are completed. We'll be here a while if so. But certainly it seems as though Nicolo Rocca will go down as our winner today. And the Cal Racing team awaiting the podium presentation. It seems like we're all ready to go with the podium, so hopefully in just a few moments we will get it. But, well, we've had drama on track here today in Euro NASCAR Pro, and if anything, the postscript has been even more awash with twists and turns. But the rules are there for a reason. The drivers know them. The officials have every right to implement them. And if someone's been judged to jump the start in the case of Alan Day or abuse the track limits in the case of Gianmarco Ercoli, then penalties have to be applied. It's not a matter for force majeure. I believe that's the helmet of Iannetta. 46 car. We saw the Canonori family on camera there as well, so great to see so many supporters of the drivers, supporters of the category in and around the paddock. As we said, 18,000 spectators have come today. So it is a really full paddock and a really festival-esque atmosphere here. Really is a celebration of Americana on the outskirts of Valencia at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Hence the Star-Spangled Banner at the start of the show. And there is Alexander Graf in 3rd place, seemingly, as the postscript continues to unfold. Having a word with the social medias at the moment by the looks of it. And he looks fairly happy with his running. There you go, nice clip-on microphone there. I might have to buy that for myself. I like having a good interview after a race with my phone, and that would maybe help my production game. Certainly the Euro NASCAR team here. And the production has been immaculate as always here at Valencia, and they put in a big shift to make sure that the fans can follow it at home as well as here at the circuit. be that here on the live stream or on the social platforms. And I recommend you try and follow some of the drivers on social media as well. You do get an insight into what goes on between the races and between the weekends as well. We've got a while to go before they get to Brands Hatch on the 11th and 12th of June for sure. So the gathered masses watching on, and hopefully we will soon see a podium. You see the trucks out there doing their convoy run around the circuit. Here's the rest of the calendar then. We alluded to Brands Hatch on the 11th and 12th of June. Vallelunga on the 9th and 10th of July. We have Dane Baird calling the action on the live stream there, and at Most on September 3rd and 4th. Zolder on October the 8th and 9th, and the season finale will be the Autodrome Grobnik. Croatia hosting the final 2 rounds of the season on the 29th and 30th of October. And I think that's a very interesting little thing down at the bottom of the calendar, the Winter Classic, to be announced, but I'm sure that could be a lot of fun come the winter months. And you see some more interviews going on. That's, I believe, Massimilio Lanza, the winner of the challenge class. Will also be on the outright podium too. Sorry, on the outright top 10, I should say. Discussion still ongoing. Romani Inetta still having a chat. I think still trying to figure out for himself quite what's happened here, but he will take the second biggest trophy home after today's race. And look at that, inheriting interviews from the other team, just like that. Very well done, Andre, sliding in for an interview with Max Lanza.
The Challenger Trophy winner, Max Lanza, here with me. It was a good race, right?
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. It's a weekend started with bad qualifying, but in the race 1 and in this race I had 2 top 10, and in this race I win the Challenge Trophy. It's amazing.
You share the car with Alberto NASCAR, who did an amazing job in Euro NASCAR too. You guys, how do you work together to put the setup for the car together?
Yeah, Alberto is a very good driver, and we had the same sensation in the car, and this is very good. The setup was wonderful for both, and it's very good, and I'm very happy to have to share the car with him.
All right, thank you so much, grazie mille, and congratulations.
Wonderful to hear from a very happy Max Lanza then, who's had a fun weekend, I think it's safe to say. He's done more overtaking than just about anybody out there this weekend. I think we are just moments away from getting the podium underway. You see there Nicolo Rocca's car sitting in victory lane. And the local MC is, well, he was hyping something up. I don't know whether or not it is an incoming podium ceremony or not, but hopefully we're not too far away from getting the trophies handed out. Just getting some word from down in the paddock. They're still working hard in the race control. We could still be here in June, was the quote I was given. That's hypothetical, I think. But Alexander Graf is down with Andre. Let's have a word with him.
Yes, of course, we're still waiting for the final classification. There's a lot of work to do in race control, but for sure, you'll be on the podium.
Yeah, it's nice to be on the podium, absolutely. Of course, I'm disappointed to be third in this race, and I know that those 2 guys ahead of me, they should be behind me, so I'm a little bit disappointed to be P3, but in the end, it's the best result I ever had so far in Euro NASCAR Pro, so it's quite good anyway.
We have to consider you as a title contender with 2 podium finishes at the season opener. What can we expect from you at Brands Hatch?
Victory? I hope so. No, I like Brands Hatch so much, and I have had so much better results there than I have had like in this place. So maybe top step there.
When I think about the record grid in Euro NASCAR with more than 35 cars on the grid on a short track like the Indy circuit of Valensijoje, what do you think, what kind of racing can we expect there?
Well, it's going to be like on lap 4 or something. We're going to see some blue flags. It's going to be chaotic, but it's going to be so much fun for the spectators to watch that race and all the audience to be there. So be sure to be first and quick.
Now you have to teach me something. I always try to say thank you in the language of the driver. So what's thank you in Swedish?
Tack.
Tack. Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
I can remember that.
Again, try some. Tack så jättemycket. Tack så mycket.
I'll stay with tack. Thank you so much. And tack.
Tack så mycket.
Great stuff from Andre there. That was awesome. There you go. Tack indeed, Alexander. Thank you for the interview. So the debrief still no doubt ongoing down in the race control. I wouldn't envy the race director here today. Lots of supporters still walking around getting photos with the cars, and I'm sure they'll be here long into the evening to get the autographs, continue to try and maybe get some of the memorabilia from the teams at the end of a long weekend of racing. That's the inside of the 56 of Nicola Rocca. In theory, our double race winner here today. You see the motto there, pure racing. Philosophy that applies to the cars in particular, 400 horsepower, 1,200 kilos, and no driving assists. If you're not able to handle a car without ABS and traction control, you're probably not going to get far in the world of Euro NASCAR. These drivers really do work hard. And you see the cream rise to the top in cars like these. Unfortunately, quite who has risen to the top is still under debate, courtesy of some of the issues.
Yeah, I think I take over right now. I'm here with Leonardo Colavita. At the moment, we are still discussing the overall classification, but with my information, you're third in the junior trophy ranks.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have at least a podium this weekend. It's been a tough one. Had a bit of incidents, you know, but it's good to at least have something for the team to be happy with. Definitely didn't show our entire pace, but we'll bring it to Brands Hatch for sure.
You said you had some problems, but the overall feeling with the car and the setup, you're quite happy with that?
Yeah, the car overall was great. We were just lacking with the engine, with the new fuel. We did a lot of testing with the old fuel, so we still had to get all the jettings right, but by the end, we pretty much had it, so working towards Brands Hatch for sure.
All right, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Still under debate, certainly. I think Andre's right to say with his information, I think we all have slightly different information at the moment, and well, I'm not going to say anything too early, but it sounds like the story isn't over yet, to me. We'll have to wait and see, but there's a lot of discussion going on here. I'm being shown some bits of paper that say a certain driver is third, and then other conversations saying the driver is first. Not quite sure what's going on down there. However, I'm sure Andre will continue to get some interviews, and we'll just wait and see what happens.
No problem. I find a lot of people here to talk to, so we can at least cover the next hour. I think we have a lot of stories to tell. But with me right now, Chris Lehman, the team manager of Marcus Motorsport. Chris, first ever Euro NASCAR Pro podium, so you must be happy as a team.
Yeah, it's amazing. We had a good performance even yesterday, but unfortunately we had a technical failure on the last lap, dropping down out of the top 5, I think down to P14. And we were really wanting to make up for it today, and fuck me. Thank you. Yeah. we couldn't be happier. We couldn't be happier.
I see it, yeah. So let's say just congratulations. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, vielen Dank. And now back to Adam again.
And apologies for any strong, spicy language you may have heard in that interview, but ice cold water on a hot day will do that to somebody. Well, we still await final confirmation on anything. I think we should just do rock, paper, scissors, personally. Might be a bit more efficient. The process and the number of penalties that seemingly may be dished out is significant, so the race control under significant pressure at the moment to just try and get everything sorted out and figured out. Hopefully with due course we will get a podium. Here's another look at the initial start of the race, where Kohli was very efficient in managing his run to turn one. He made sure Graf was all the way behind him, and that allowed Alan Day to side through into second place. Ian Etta had a strong start, and everyone else at the sharp end managed to keep their cars clean. Not so lucky in the mid-pack though, the likes of Dario Casso with problems. And we saw Garelli, one of two drivers, stopped at turn 2 after the first lap. That brought out a safety car. That led to a race restart, and this was where the dramas started coming in. A few drivers started to receive penalties because of this restart. We saw several trying to jump the gun. We saw there Martin Tubeck being muscled down the order as well. Alexander Graf briefly fell to 4th place, but he got back past Tobias Dauenhauer, and Dauenhauer then started to seem susceptible to overtakes. Ian Etta got through, and soon Kohli would follow, or rather, sorry, Roca would follow. Kohli, though, ran wide as he was under pressure from Alan Day, and that ultimately is what cost him the victory. He did cross the line second on track ultimately, but fell well down the order after penalties were implied. We had great fighting between Mark Goossens and Sebastian Bleekemolen, side by side into T11, and Goossens all the way around the outside. The tenacious driving of Mark Goossens. Unfortunately, Bleekemolen then left himself open to a challenge as well from the number 3 car behind Frederic Gabillon. It was all kicking off in this battle. And then another restart, and Alan Day, you see there, he accelerated early. Unfortunately, that's why he hasn't got the claim on the win either. He crossed the line first, but since he jumped the start and a few others followed suit, things are still very much provisional here at Valencia. And he's now standing up on the car. In fact, no, this is a replay of earlier, isn't it? My apologies. Nicolo Roca still celebrating, and that was the dismount I spoke about earlier on. That was a solid 8 out of 10 in terms of distance and height, I'd say, for Nicolo Roca, who, at least as of now, is down as our winner, but things are still under investigation. Trophies are still not being handed out. And so that means that all things are still provisional by the looks of it. We should have definitive answers and podium ceremonies in the next few minutes, per the intel I'm receiving elsewhere. Andre's still on the hunt for interviews by the looks of it too. He's prowling around the victory lane. Hi, Andre.
Therefore, we still have to wait for a few more minutes because there are some parts of the race that are still under review. As soon as we have official confirmation about the overall classification, we will get back to you from the victory lane here.
Yeah, just I saw you and I thought, yeah, let's go say hello to him. Andre's still walking around the paddock and seeing what's going on. And we will, in the next couple of minutes, have a podium ceremony. Or so I'm told, so we'll wait and see. But, well, we had 18 laps of exciting racing, and since then, we've had quite a lot of discourse and uncertainty as to quite who has stayed on the right side of the law here at the circuit, Ricardo Tormo. Here's another replay of that final restart. You see there, well ahead of Ercole at the line, was Alan Day. And they're now just trying to judge everyone else too. Well, well, well. There's no such thing as an undramatic race in motorsport. There's always something going on behind the curtain. And at the moment, behind the curtain, I think it's fraught times in the race control building here at Valencia as we continue to await a definitive result, or at least a result that's solid enough to deliver trophies to people. I imagine some of the drivers will go to the airport before they even hand out the trophies, because some have already been disappointed here. Alan Day, I think, chief among them. And here we have another interview down in victory lane.
Yes, I'm here with Gustav Grinbergas. Your first Euro NASCAR weekend. How was it?
I think it was incredible. So much action. Both races in Euro NASCAR Pro were just filled all the way from the start to the finish. Where I was kind of in the mid-pack fighting for that, like, around top 10, there was always fighting. We were always in some kind of massive group going in front, behind, in front, behind. It's a different style of racing from what I'm used to, but I love it. You know, there's so much fighting. You can really follow the cars up close. It's a lot of hard work because the cars are so raw and so manual. But I want to thank Bagheera Racing. They've helped me a lot through the weekend. I think we've grown a lot. It was a debut for the team, a debut for me as well. And we just did, I think, an awesome job getting a top 10 in race 1. I don't know where we've ended up now. Nobody knows, I guess. But P2 in the juniors, so P3 and P2 in the juniors, I think that's the max we could have hoped for. So thanks to the team, thanks to my sponsors, and it's been an incredible weekend here at Valencia. Sunny Valencia as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You talked about how to wrestle the car, but under those conditions, we had the cooking sun of Spain. We know that in the car it's up to 60 degrees Celsius. How physical was it for you?
I think for me, coming from endurance racing, it's a little bit easier because I've done these long distance stints. This is a bit shorter. This is like half an hour, 40 minutes. So doing these shorter stints, it's a bit easier for me, and I think that's where kind of my strength comes in. We maybe didn't have the ultimate pace, but keeping our heads cool, staying out of trouble, and getting those positions by that, not by actually being super quick maybe on track, but being smart and playing our cards right, being aggressive where we want to, and wrestling the car. Yeah, it's very, very physical, especially on the hands. Maybe not so much with the G-force you feel in the car, but it's very physical on the hands, and obviously very, very hot. But we've managed, and I think the ones that managed the heat and the fatigue the best all the way throughout the weekend, actually, because there was a lot of running and a lot of heat. So I think the ones that managed to keep their heads cool throughout the weekend, you know, prevailed today.
Last question: have you been to Brands Hatch, and what are you expecting there?
I have never been to Brands Hatch. I think the show that was put on here is going to continue all the way throughout the season.
All right, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Racing prior to this, I think both LMP3 and LMP2 at various junctures in the European and Asian Le Mans series since he's graduated from karting. He's just 19 years old, and well, he's certainly a good interview. I imagine Andre's probably going to doorstep him again if we ever have a significant delay, because he has a lot to say and it's all very useful information. Interesting to hear those comparisons between the long distance stints in an LMP and the sprint races in these stock car machines. And Gustav Grinbergas will be looking to be quicker and quicker as the year goes on. He's never been to Brands Hatch before. I can guarantee him he's in for a treat. I've seen Euro NASCAR in person at Brands. I've spent a lot of time at Brands Hatch as well. It's certainly not my local circuit, but I've spent a lot of time there, and it is a fabulous location to spectate and to race. And here we have another interview with Martin Dubeck.
Yes, right. At the moment, you're listed as the second place driver in the Challenger Trophy. How was the race for you?
Finally, it's finished. It was a really hard weekend for me. I drove both categories, but the last race was the best one. I started for P9 and finished P5, but I think it will be some time penalty after the start because I moved too early before I crossed the start-finish line. But it was a really nice race. I really enjoyed the whole weekend. I did 2 times third position in Euro NASCAR 2 and 2 times 5th position in Euro NASCAR Pro, so I'm really happy. It was nice, but too hot.
As a reigning Euro NASCAR 2 champion, you're doing both categories. What are your overall goals in the 2022 season?
I will do my best to win both categories this season.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations. And now we're still waiting for the official results of that race. So stay tuned and have a little bit of patience.
Dubek then looking to ascend to the top of the mountain, not just in Euro NASCAR 2, but also within Euro NASCAR Pro and the challenge class of that series. Dubek, who has shown lots of promise in the Pro order, it must be said. I mean, he's very quick in Euro NASCAR 2. He's our defending champion in Euro NASCAR 2, but I think anyone who's seen his performance here this weekend would justifiably say, well, he's clearly up to pro standard as well. He was fighting with the likes of Mark Goossens and Sebastian Blekemolen, and you don't do that if you're not there on merit. The Cal Racing team posing for the pictures. They look pretty happy, and they're having a chat with the cameraman as well. Yes, you did just go out live to many, many people indeed. I hope you don't regret that. The Cal Racing guys with a successful weekend. We're yet to quite figure out how successful, mind you. The order hasn't changed on my screen for a little while, but it looks as though we may have a bulletin from downstairs.
Yeah, I have the confirmation right now that the results should stand as they are right now. So we are going to start with the podium ceremony any minute. So we see who's going up on the podium. I'm curious too.
Nothing like a good mystery in Spain. A nice little novel to write here after this one, the great postscript in Valencia. But we will have the trophies being handed out and distributed very soon then. At least that is how it sounds, and we will start off with the overall podium, which should be Alexander Graf third, Roman Iannetta second, and Nicolo Rocca on the top step. And we've heard from all three of those drivers. And certainly they've all been excited, ecstatic with their weekend. And you heard the likes of Alexander Graf definitely being referred to as championship contenders, and justifiably so. Aha, this sounds like a podium incoming. Here we go, the podium is about to get underway then. Let's wait to see if the order's the same as I just told you, but we should see Alexander Graf up third. There he is. Okay, this is a good sign. This means that at least the overall podium has been judged to remain as we have read you. Alexander Graf on the third step. Roman Iannetta with the second place. Once again, I can't do it justice. Nicolo Rocca with the top step of the podium. And here are the trophies.
Don Manuel Aviñó a la entrega del trofeo a Roman Iannetta como segundo clasificado. Y el presidente de la Real Federación Española de Automovilismo la entrega el trofeo al
here's the
vencedor,
trophy for Nicolo Rocca. He holds it aloft, and we will momentarily hear the national anthem for our winning driver.
El himno de Italia. para Alexander Graf, para Roman Yaneta y para Nicolo.
So then it's worth noting, these results are still provisional. I did say that the investigations will go on long into the night, and we do anticipate that that's the case. Ianetta's delighted, isn't he? I must say, 16 years on from Michael Schumacher's last win in a Ferrari, I do still expect the Italian anthem to be followed by the German one. And here we go though, Nicolo Rocca with the win and the spray of the champagne. He has had a fabulous weekend here to start off his Euro NASCAR Pro campaign in 2022. And with Alan Day being penalised there at the end, that really does tilt the balance in favour of the likes of Rocca, potentially the likes of Alexander Graf as well. Gianmarco Ercole will be distraught with the weekend that he's had, ultimately finishing just 6th after the adjusted results. Again, the results are provisional, but for now, you still see the podium ongoing. Nicolo Rocca receiving the red window banner, the windscreen banner that will denote that he is our championship leader coming into race 2, or rather round 2 at Brands Hatch. There you go, the fastest lap winner, TJ Jewelry, giving them a nice piece. As the fastest driver, you do walk away with some bling for your efforts. Young Nicolo Rocca. TJ Titanium Jewelry sponsoring that fastest driver award here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. And well, there you go, keep an eye on the red banner when we go to Brands Hatch next month, because that is our championship leader.
Y vamos a llamar al mejor equipo de este fin de semana en la Euro NASCAR Pro. Corresponde a los hombres y mujeres del número 56, Cal Racing.
Okay, so coming up now is the Cal Racing team. And they take their opportunity to come up to the top step in droves. They, of course, have a points leader in their stable. And a great many people taking to the podium then. Big family at Cal Racing, and look at Nicolo Rocca. He's still got some champagne and he intends to use it. Oh, Nicolo, he's a great personality, isn't he? And sure enough, the champagne has been used on him. What comes around, goes around, etc. I don't always quote Justin Timberlake, but when I do. There you go, big team photograph for Cal Racing. Delighted for them. He looks so happy. I'm so happy for Nicolo. He looks like he's had a fabulous weekend. The results agree that he has had a fabulous weekend, and he'll be carrying a lot of smiles and momentum into Brands Hatch, I'm sure of that.
Últimas fotos y vamos a liberar el podio de este equipo ganador y gamberro, el Cal Racing número 56.
Okay, so I think there are some more podiums to come here for the various class orders. I think next up we should see the Junior Trophy up.
Porque a continuación vamos a ver a los 3 primeros clasificados de la Junior Trophy.
Yes, there you go, confirmation that we are going to see the Junior Trophy next, which means Leonardo Colavita will be hopping up onto the podium in just a few moments' time for 3rd place in Junior Trophy.
Tercer clasificado en la Junior Trophy, Leonardo Colavita.
Here he is, the young 16-year-old joining us on the trophy now, on the podium now, I should say, to receive his trophy in the Junior Trophy class. And we heard from this guy earlier, Gustas Grimbergas, second place. Two very strong results in Junior Trophy this year. But the strongest junior of all by some margin, Tobias Downhauer, has had a fabulous weekend in Euro NASCAR Pro, and he'll be looking to build that momentum. Of course, he has a lot of experience in these cars, having been runner-up in Euro NASCAR 2 on 2 occasions. So he'll be bringing some relevant track experience to venues such as Brands Hatch, where the two drivers alongside him on the podium have not.
Las fotos con los tres protagonistas y las autoridades.
Next up, we will see the Challenger Trophy drivers up. Just getting the photos in for the juniors. And off they go. All three drivers looking pretty happy with their performance this weekend. And I say Downhauer in particular should be very happy.
Tercera plaza para Henry Tuomala.
Okay, so now the Challenger Trophy drivers coming up. Henry Tuomala. Martin Dubek second. And Max Lanza rounding out the podium there on the top step in the Challenger Trophy class. He looks pretty happy with himself. Ice cool if you're for Henry Tuomala, meanwhile. Dubek looks happy. I'd say the happiest man there, unsurprisingly, is the one at the top step. The $1 million smile for Max Lanza. The 88 car, both in his hands and his teammates, has been very competitive this weekend, I should say, in the Euro NASCAR paddock. And so that's the final podium. The results are still provisional, so I'd suggest you keep an eye on Euro NASCAR's social platforms and their website to find out exactly what may come of this second race here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo at Valencia. But it's been a fabulous 2 days of action, certainly. We've had great races in both Euro NASCAR Pro and Euro NASCAR 2. The first 2 rounds of each championship have been seen here this weekend at Valencia. Rounds 3 and 4 take place on the 11th and 12th of June at Brands Hatch. The Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, the tight little bull ring, the shortest circuit we visit all year. Make sure you join us on the 11th and 12th of June to catch all of the action from the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. From myself, Adam Weller, from Andre down in the pit lane, and everybody here at Valencia. We'll see you again next month.